Welcome back if you just came from my other live. Hi, everybody. So, kind of a serious topic today, again, about Cassie, Carli, the 37-year-old Florida mother of a child who is 4 years old, and her ex-boyfriend, whom she had this child with after only being with the man for a few months, murdered her, allegedly, and placed her in a barn at a place he used to stay at. Oh! Is my mic off? Uh-oh. Hold on. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Oh! Can you hear me now? Hi, guys. I'm not here. Obviously, the Summer Wells live took it out of me. It always does when I talk about summer. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Sorry. So what I was saying, great. What I was saying was we are going to talk about Cassie Carli, who was allegedly murdered by her ex-boyfriend, Marcus Spinevolo, whom they share at the time custody of their 3-year-old daughter, Sailor. But we also have some information that I want to talk about, and I kind of want to empower women who is going through a custody battle like she did with, I assume to be a narcissist. He's a narcissist in my opinion. An entitled, spoiled little brat. He is a alleged murderer and uses any and everyone, including his own child, to gain control where he can't otherwise, which was Cassie. But what I want to do is go through these custody documents and kind of go through the timeline of how this all built up into him deciding that the only course of action was to allegedly murder his daughter's mother. I want women to be empowered, and so I'm going to make this video and tag things, put tags like custody battles, narcissists. I'm going to put those tags in that would reach out to women who are going through a very hard time with their ex, with custody and all that stuff. And what's in the works with bills being passed or legislation being put on lawmakers' desks to help. It's just, I'm so upset. I'm so upset about the fact that this was the only way he thought he could win, was to take his child's mother away from her. I will never understand. Not once. There is some little things that I wanted to show you in the Justice for Cassie page. People are kind of putting out what they have noticed about the situation regarding them before this happened, before this obvious tragedy. So I wanted to read some of those to you. So if you're listening, anybody that's listening out there who is going through a custody battle, who is going through battles with their ex regarding their children or lack of control over you, there are certain things you can do, and there are also certain things that we need to work on in each state. Specifically, Florida is horrendous at protecting women and men anyone who but mostly women. Okay, this is for women mainly. The courts, in my opinion, sometimes I feel like judges themselves are in fact cold and callous because maybe they don't know what it feels like to be in the situation where you're held hostage financially as a woman, emotionally hostage, an emotional hostage, and sometimes violently made to be held hostage in a sense. There's a lot of different ways that these types of men like Marcus Benevolo, there's a lot of tactics they can use and do use to control, just for the sake of control. And when they lose that control, which is what I will show you happened to Marcus, it obviously went very south. Whitney is one of the friends of Cassie, and she said, please know this. Cassie did try to fight for her rights. Cassie did ask for help. Cassie's family was there for her. Unfortunately, Marcus still had some rights as the father, and he violated her rights when he didn't get his way. And when I tell you that it really is as basic as that, when it comes down to what I believe he has, which is narcissism or high narcissistic traits, they will do whatever it takes. And sometimes that means their baby mama's life. And that's what happened in this instance, and it's awful. I feel personally that one of the relationships I was in 2010, 11, that I could have easily been that Cassie. I could have easily been Cassie if I were to have continued that relationship and if I hadn't have lost due to miscarriage. So it could happen to anybody. It could happen to anyone, no matter how much you think you are strong, no matter how much you think this person is incapable of doing this. I want you to learn the signs. I want you to learn through Cassie's story, because she matters and her daughter matters, and she has no parents now, Miss Sailor. Her life is forever changed. I'm going to say hi to everybody in the chat real quick. Linda, thank you. Welcome back. Grandma Brooke, thank you for being here. Miss Badass Energy. Linda, again, thank you for that super chat earlier. Love you, love you. Thank you so much. Sazama, my girl, how you doing today? See who else we got. Mallory, thank you for being here. Margaret, my members, man, my members are on it today. Love y'all. Shandon, hello. Suzanne, my love. All right. Barb. Dang, look at I'm proud of y'all. Thank you so much for being here with me. Hi, Katie. Welcome, welcome. Anyway, so this person in a Navarre, Florida Facebook group, which this was before what happened to Cassie. This person said, I remember sweet Cassie posting and pleading for help in a Navarre group. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, she was already pleading for help. She even went as far as to reach out for GoFundMe because Marcus, the dad, was so behind on child support payments that she was stuck. She was stuck. And again, like I was saying earlier, Florida is the worst about giving any leeway or help to domestic violence victims, specifically women. There's even a bill right now that's trying to retroactive alimony being stopped for women specifically, because that's usually who's on it. But for everyone, but women are usually the ones, because we don't have the financial levels as men. That's just the facts. Go look it up. Here's what I see. Here's what I see regarding Cassie, Carli. These judges who have no idea what it really truly feels like to be in their specific predicament and not listening to the facts. I've been in courtrooms and I've heard many, many times and seen many, many times judges just literally glaze over and go, I don't care. I don't care about your woes. This is the law, and boom. Not about protecting them, not about any of that, not about the best interest of the child sometimes. It's just what's fair is fair. How can I get away with not being shamed for just doing the most basic, easy assessment of this case? I get it. You can't always be emotionally involved in every single case. As a judge, it could skew your thought processes, but there has to be something we can do to protect victims like Cassie, Carli, because she tried for 2 years. Almost 3 years to make this right, to help be on the same page custody-wise with Marcus. So I'm going to go find that. It's actually, I think, on my drive. The link was moved on this page. There's a whole ass article. And I don't know if I should play that because it's really, really heartbreaking. There is an article, I think it was Custody Florida Rights or something like that was moved, and so I'm trying to find it now, that has a whole list of the timeline, and then I can pull up the documents to show you exactly the proof, because obviously that helps to see what they were saying in the court, what the court said. There's messages right there. Boom, right there. This is going to help teach some of these women who are so stubborn in the sense that they can change their man, that one day they're going to change and be the best custodial partner or whatever it may be. You guys, these types of men are everywhere, and women, but it's mostly against the woman. And it breaks my heart. And it's amazing, like, oh, Mallory, welcome to the evening crew. Woohoo! 2 months. 2 months, girl. Please keep the membership so that we can do everything we can to prevent stuff like this, to spread stuff like this. Thank you so much. I love my members. Like, most of them are here. That's amazing. Hi, Carla. Thank you for coming back. Mr. Eve, what you doing, Mr. Eve? I didn't even know you were here. Shoot. Mr. Eve, you want to be a member? Mr. Eve, I'll give you a free reading later if you want to send that super chat my way. I just want to say, no, wait, don't do that. Just do Zelle. Because they take 35% on YouTube, so you can just Zelle it. Just kidding, Mr. Eve, just kidding. We're talking about Cassie, Carli. Mr. Eve knows how much this has hurt me. This has hurt me tremendously to see that this little girl doesn't have any parents. Gemini, hi, just step. Florida protected parents. It was right on my recently saved, right there. What the hell is wrong with me? Lord, help me today. I will give you a deal. I will come up to the hangar and finish the furniture that I need to put together. How about that? And I'll give you a little lip, because I always do, but I won't give you as much. I'll be chill, okay? All right, sorry it took so long. Let me get the my Google Drive up really quickly. because that's where all of the documents, the custody documents are. This is a very sad one, guys. Let me tell my little doggies to hush. Hold on. Mr. Eve, see, this is what I have to deal with when you're not here. Biscuit's acting up. Do I have PayPal? Yeah, I do. Since you asked, I don't usually put it on here though. I don't like doing that, but I can post it. I just got it signed up too. Do I have it signed up? I don't even know, y'all. I forget that money is a thing. I really do. I know that it's what makes the world go round, but it's the truth. So what's my... Anyway, I'm going to look up this thing real quick. Did you guys see the video of Marcus waiving his extradition? He waived his extradition to be denied. That's crazy. What a beat burp. That's all I can say. I see this a lot in cases that I followed where the mom or a missing mom has ended up, murdered. Oh my gosh, PayPal is actually really bad. Like, I can't even get in here without doing 18 different security challenges. But yeah, I saw his little arraignment. I was sick. Sick to my stomach. For the love of Pete. Anyway, I'll post it later, honey. Thank you. Sazama might know. I don't even know. So anyway, said Brooke, oh my gosh, did you just derp? Brooke, did you derp? He's an ass. He is a coward. He wants to be in control. He is a punk. Hi, Kim. Thank you for coming back. Yeah, thank you, Carla. I'll get to it. Sazama might know, but I don't even know. That's sad. So there's this article. In-depth analysis of Cassie Carli's court battle for her daughter's safety. Obviously, there's Cassie and little Miss Sailor. Pictures on her Facebook everywhere of these two. Marcus, just one video right before she was murdered. Allegedly by Marcus. She was looking for a name for him, and that's all I could think of without cussing. He's you know what? I can help you with this. I've been wanting to play with this thing real quick since y'all already know I have ADHD, so y'all are used to me going whoop, whoop, whoop. I can help you with that. I got a little app that I want to play with real quick. Don't come at me. Okay? And I hope it doesn't like reverb, but you're going to laugh. Prayers for little Sailor. Could everybody please put purple hearts in the chat, and I will donate $50 of my own money to her GoFundMe to, I think some of it's going to the Gabby Petito Foundation, and the other is going to be for Sailor. You know what? I'll donate $100. If you could all just put some purple hearts and say a prayer, or however you do your thing to send good energy, put purple hearts in the chat, and I will do that. I will do that. Okay. Oh. Is my voice changed? Wow. That's not what I wanted. Okay. He is a piece of shit. And I hope he rots in you. Yeah. That's all I wanted to do. I think that was appropriate, right? I liked it. What do y'all think? Should I use that in the future? Great. All right, so $100. I'll split it however I need to. Gabby Petito Foundation and as well as Sailor, or maybe just all Sailor. I'll work it out because I think that they're splitting it. So I'll look into it and let you know. Mr. E says, "Nerd, you love me. You married me." He will rot. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. God, I love that thing. I've been having such a fantastic time with it. I can't help it. Okay, I have my little thing up. Oh, thank you, Barb. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You're amazing. That will obviously go to the other donations that or the other organizations. So you better treat me right. That's right. Yes, that's very sweet. Okay. Focus, girl. It's hard for me to focus on these kinds of issues because it's personal to me in a sense of domestic violence, narcissism, entitlement, that male privilege. Men in the chat, not you, Eve, Mr. Eve, men in the chat, which I highly doubt there's anyone else but Mr. Eve. This is not a slight towards men. It's a slight towards toxic men and the entitlement and the fragility and the masculinity, fragile masculinity that happens. It's a problem. And I'm not here to sugarcoat that for men's feelings. You know what I mean? As much as I respect men in general, just like women. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to focus because it hurts. It hurts me. It's triggering. It's painful. And I'm pretty sure that every single woman that I know, and probably in the chat, I won't speak for you, but people in the chat probably has had some kind of toxic male experience, either family, relationship, or both, in one way or another, where it's constant and you've had to really work, to get away from it or whatever. It just happens. It's almost like a part of women's lives now. Be nice. Don't be too nice. You let them on. With these types of people like Marcus, though, there's nothing you can do. You could be too nice or too mean. There's never a gray area where you're okay unless they're okay. And I've been around toxic pieces of shit or pieces of beep like that my whole life. Not Mr. Eve. What about toxic women? Boy, don't you come in here doing that. You know. Because toxic women do exist, yes. We all know that toxic people exist. But usually, from my understanding, that when a woman is toxic and has proven so with domestic violence, neglecting their children, besides the obvious, Candace Wells, Grandis, they usually, more than men, are held accountable in a sense of custody issues. Men literally have to almost kill you, in a sense, in most cases, to be taken seriously. Here's the problem that I'm trying to say, is that when it comes to custody, it seems like all of those issues leading up to the demise of the relationship and not agreeing on custody and payment of child support and all that, there's not enough protection during that custody process. You're going to see how the money had an effect on what happened in the custody case of Sailor at the beginning, and you're going to see where the control was being lost by Marcus and what he did to try to get it back. And at the very end, you're going to see what made him never get that control custody-wise again. At the end there, he was supposed to be at a hearing either March or April. And then that's when she met her demise. All right, let's get started because I'm going to just keep going. It's been 25 minutes, y'all. This is crazy. Trigger warning: if you can't handle domestic violence, narcissistic tendencies, and abuse, and all that stuff, please, you've been warned, okay? All right. So this is quite long, but I am going to, look at this. I am going to do my very, very best, y'all, to be short and concise because I've already ruined that chance. Now, obviously, Cassie went missing on Sunday, March 27th, 2022. She was on her way to pick up her 4-year-old daughter, as we know, and Sailor never made it home. To pick up her 4-year-old daughter, Sailor, but Cassie never made it home. She went to meet Marcus in the parking lot of Juana's Pagodas restaurant and a bar. That's their usual exchange place dictated by the court, and you'll see this, is the Walmart in Destin. This time, he changed it up. Says Marcus has been playing a good guy and suggested a closer location to Cassie's residence, which is Juana's. It was only a mile away from her home that she stayed in. This would have been a more convenient option for Cassie. And having visited Juana's, the author of this article, they can attest that it's a very busy public place with plenty of people around. I agree with that. Men have an ability to be more toxic or more abusive to women, but it can go both ways. Yes, sir. Mr. Eve is wise. That's why I married you. So we all know what happened. If you don't know, please let me know in the chat. BB, reading through their text through the past years, it was like deja vu. I know. It really hurt. It hurt me because I know what that feels like. Biscuit, are you on my clothes? He's on my laundry. Good Lord. That's okay. So her sister, Rianne Carli, sent Marcus a text after that bullshit text that they think Marcus sent the dad about the car trouble and the phone dying and all that, and that she went crazy. So the sister said, come on. Just where is she? That's when he claimed to have dropped her off at the friend's house and keeping Sailor with him, because he wasn't going to do her like that. Her daughter was found by police on Wednesday of that week. So she went missing Sunday evening, and the daughter was found by police on Wednesday, Sailor. She was taken into protective custody, Alabama protective custody, on Friday. Marcus was arrested on Friday night on multiple charges, one being destruction of evidence. Hi, single mama 4. It's been a while. I'm so glad you're here. I really hope, I haven't heard anything about this, but I really hope Sailor didn't hear or see anything. I really hope she didn't. I don't even want to know at this point because I think that my heart would just shatter in front of you guys. Cassie's disappearance resonated in the domestic violence community, obviously, because of that contentious custody battle. Once we saw her docket here at the Florida Protective Parents, which is this organization, we knew how dangerous Marcus was. These are dangerous individuals that should not have unsupervised access to children. Preach. Because these types of people do not care about the lives of anybody around them. They only use them to benefit themselves. Whether that be, hey, truth be told, hello. Good. That baby didn't see anything. Thank God. That's a relief, Shandon. That's a relief. My heart was kind of pounding. I was hoping nobody told me otherwise. So this Florida Protective Parents is a really good organization. They're trying to help with that custody. These are the people that I was actually talking about looking for to say, hey, can you give me an interview? Tell me, and they said, well, why don't you wait and read the article that we're going to post? And I said, okay. So hopefully we can get somebody from this team on my live next week because they could give us some more help for these women. So specifically, they were talking about high conflict custody battles. It's defined by attorneys as cases where parents make co-parenting impossible, where there are filings in the court alleging abuse, false CPS allegations, and nobody can come to an agreement on anything because of the turmoil that keeps going on and has happened already. It's like becoming a high-risk patient. And just as a general medicine doctor might be unable to treat you, many family law attorneys cannot begin to be able to help many protective parents in high conflict cases. This is where we need change right here. Right here. But it's very hard for the courts to step in certain ways because the liability and risk goes up every time that they step foot in that kind of decision making. So I kind of understand, but at the same time, we got to do something. So here's the timeline of Cassie's custody battle. Oh, hi, What Big Eyes. Great videos you've been posting. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Yeah. I've been the stepmom of the children who have seen the DV between my ex-husband, my first ex-husband, first husband who I am divorced with, obviously, and his baby mamas. Bad stuff. And then I became the victim. So, seeing it firsthand on both sides. So here's how it began, y'all. Here's how it began. On Halloween Day of 2018, we all know Halloween is a big day for our babies when they're young, especially women. You know, especially women, we love to dress them up, and it's, oh my gosh, how wonderful. Put them in their cute little, bear outfit or whatever. I put my kid in a Whataburger onesie and call them a what a cutie. I know. Whataburger's big in Texas. So on Halloween Day of 2018, Cassie filed for a domestic violence injunction. The contents of that injunction have been redacted for the public view, and it is unknown what the contents were, but it was determined sufficient enough to grant her a temporary injunction until a November 9th, 2018 hearing. Many domestic violence injunctions are denied because of insufficient cause of imminent danger or fear for one's life. This is the biggest problem that it starts. Well, you didn't literally end up in a hospital on a ventilator, so sorry. Can't really help you there. You literally have to be hurt really, really bad or threatened beyond measure to be taken seriously on these junctions. Bullshit. Oh, honey, I love you too. So here's the filing. Here it is. Now you have to understand each time there's a filing, a motion, a response. All of those things cost a lot of money. Do you think that most single moms who do not have alimony or anything like that, do you think that they can afford this in this day and age? While dealing with back child support from the baby daddy in the first place? This is expensive shit. And if you don't have the resources from family, good luck. Good luck. So here it is. Temporary injunction for protection against domestic violence with minor children. So this is just her. She circled violence prohibited, no contact. She wants a no contact order, which I always suggest doing. I'm not a law professional. I just know that I have heard good things about getting a no contact order. However, can't say that either. I'm not a legal professional. It has also caused harm to them and their families because criminals and pieces of shit like this do not care about a piece of paper. Marcus didn't. So she's initialing all of these things. Respondent shall not go to, in, or within 500 feet of her address at the time. Her addresses. And the child care, too. Respondent shall not use or possess a firearm or ammunition. So that's what she was requesting. Wow. It's really eerie to see her writing, her writings and her initials. It's just, I don't know, it's just weird. You're seeing firsthand what went down. What Big Eye says, most cases, the mom has a way smaller income than the DV dad, so there's that. Like I said, there's lots of different types of abuse: financial abuse, emotional, physical, psychological, and all that stuff. Hey, Eve, I'll be home in a few minutes. May I sit on the couch behind you? Sure. You got to have to move Mr. Biscuit and all of the laundry that I tried to do. So you can do what you want. You could fold them too while you're there. Oh my God, I know. Shouldn't have asked. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I always do the laundry. So yeah, here it is. So there's one down. Makes me sad. Sailor was 3 months old at this time. That was a temporary injunction for the DV. The baby was 3 months old. Do you know what that temporary injunction did? It merely irritated and festered feelings of hatred. This is where that pus ball of hatred towards this poor woman started. 12 Steps says the emotional, psychological abuse is harder to heal from in my case. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Yeah, it makes me so mad. Okay, a week later, it was dismissed, y'all. A week later, it was dismissed. She's got a 3-month-old baby. Let's not forget how hard it is to adjust your life, okay, to having a newborn. It takes a good year to really get in the habit of being a mom. It takes years, but it's hard. It's really hard. And mind you, they had only been together a few months when she got pregnant. So they didn't really know each other all that well either. So order of dismissal, domestic violence. The evidence presented is insufficient under Florida law. And you know I'm writing this shit down. Because whoever has anything better than what is there now and who is fighting to protect these women, I'm all for it. And if there's improvements in those, I'm going to fight for that too. And I'm going to call out the circuit judge, John J. Gontarek. What say you, John? And he's just going to say, well, I was only following the law in my best ability, and that's fine. But maybe he has some suggestions about how to prevent bubbles of hate to fester into murder. Yeah, that's a good point, Sazama. He manipulated her to do that. He could have manipulated her to change her mind. Not in this case, because it was dismissed by a judge. But maybe you'll see there's some 2020. There was some. They didn't do anything. Nobody fought each other. It didn't seem like the motions that they were filing did anything. So the attorneys dismiss everything and bailed. And then it ramps up. Bad. All right. It says that when you go to a hearing on an injunction, you must provide evidence to show that you have continued to fear for your life. So that would mean text messages, any police reports, and all that. It says it's important to note that Cassie's daughter, Sailor, was included in the temporary protective order. She wanted him and the baby, him away from both of them, herself and the baby. And then on March 8th of 2019, Marcus filed a domestic violence injunction against Cassie's mother. So now you see the game. Tit for a tat. Eye for an eye. You do this to me, I'm going to do it twice as hard. That's what these types do. To scare and manipulate Cassie and women like that, like her, in that situation, to just duck out and go, okay, I surrender. This happens a lot. Seen it so many times. Kim says, I tried so hard, but it was never good enough. Finally, my heart and soul had enough. Yeah. And it's scary to get to that point because you don't know where to go. You have to be very diligent in how you duck out or whatever you got to do. You have to be careful. So it says, unknown what is accurate in his filing. We cannot comment on the validity of truth of his statements. He did mention that Cassie's mother screamed saying that I had a gun. It is very common for abusers to try to isolate their victims from their family and friends. I am Exhibit A in a sense of my first few relationships. You know, I have a very bad picker until Mr. Eve and a few others, but Mr. Eve specifically was like a godsend because I was picking men of the same type of habits of the person that was around that raised me, persons who had very high narcissistic traits who were picking the same types, or they were that type. So, totally understand. It's very hard. It's very hard to walk through because I feel like I'm in her shoes. She was in mine, but her life is gone. So here's the petition for injunction for protection against the mother. Cassie's mother, I'm going to just say this and not get into too many details. She has a history of some running into the law. All right. But that has no bearing, in my opinion, on Marcus's behavior towards Cassie. Because it was from the get-go. All right. And you'll read it in the GoFundMe information exactly how Cassie felt and how she tried to reach out for help. All right. So this was dismissed because petitioner didn't show. Lack of evidence. Dismissed because she didn't show up. So here's Marcus's explanation of what happened to Cassie's mom threatening him. So this was a DV related issue. Y'all are going to get a kick out of this. Called me a psycho, meth head. Screamed saying I had a gun when I didn't. Tried to assault, and he cannot spell worth a damn, by the way, me, but her daughter got in the middle, Cassie, and restrained her in the balcony. She said, Tawny is affiliated, but implying that she was going to get him to do me harm. Tawny is her son that is in jail, I guess Cassie's brother or relative somehow. She then told her other daughter that I need to understand my daddy gave me hands, implying she was going to assault me. I mean, you can't threaten people. Fair enough, you know what I mean? You cannot threaten people. However, this sounds to me like reactive abuse, where you take it and you take it and you take it. And you know, when you see your daughter, I'm playing the role of mom, Cassie's mom. You're seeing your daughter being neglected and abused and manipulated, and reactive abuse is them getting you to a point of just blowing up because Cassie did that DV injunction. This is reactive, in my opinion. Linda says, when my ex-husband left me, he said no lawyers. When he found out that I got a lawyer, he threatened me. Yeah. I was sleeping with the lights on and the car alarm in my hand, so I know how scary it is, Linda. I'm sorry, honey. What did Mr. Eve say? I'm just me, everyone. I was in some real trouble with my ex-wife. My Eve saved me too. Aw. We saved each other. Ooh, those were some times, from rags to dish towels. We're getting to, velvet handcloths. Okay, we're getting there. But sometimes the rags come out, just like in any relationship, but it never gets harmful. It never gets dangerous. We just bicker like normal people. Intentionally lied. this courthouse, listen to this. At this courthouse, respondent intentionally lied while filing a restraining order against me so I wouldn't be able to call the cops when she was doing drugs near my 3-month-old daughter. She showed up in court, signed in, but before something me to see the judge was up, she fled. So I'm guessing the mom, Cassie's mom, did. She is a blankety blank, I'm not going to go there, and was never reformed and just got educated with the system. So this is what Marcus is doing. Marcus is, first of all, using the Cassie's mother against Cassie to show the courts, look at how pathetic these people are. This is retaliation. This is retaliation for what she did. And she's and slamming them for how, from their past, right? Again, can't be threatening folks, but physical dangerous environment, mentally ill. I'd like to make clear that that even though I spent most nights with my daughter and her mother at this address, I do not live there. I've had access to my daughter as much as I would like, even though my daughter lives with her mother, and we have yet to come up with a co-parenting plan. Also, that my daughter's mother does not agree with me on this issue. So, isn't that a backhanded slap in the face? I love you too, Mr. E. Get a room. This is our room. Okay. So he's at one hand saying, my baby mama is, letting me see my daughter, but the mother is toxic, gotta go. So you could see the removing of the family members and their ability to... Is that Mr. Eve? Hello. That was quick. The ability to wipe out everyone around her as legitimate so that she can't go back and say, well, my mom saw him slap me in the face or not pick up his daughter or whatever. She's not a credible witness now because he's basically slandered her in the eyes of the court. Ridiculous. This is the tactic. It's very manipulative and it happens all the time. And don't think that you are, it's not going to happen to you if you have someone like Marcus in your life. It's totally possible. Yeah, it's manipulation. Hi.
Hello.
Biscuit said you took my spot.
So?
How was your day?
It was fine.
Good. All right, let's move on. It's already 45 minutes. That really flew by. Okay. So they denied that injunction about the mom. It says narcissistic personalities tend to feel the compulsion to prove to everyone that they are model citizens and great fathers and mothers. Adding this sentence into a domestic violence injunction has no merit in proving you are in fear for your life. So that's when they denied it that day. So 2 months later, this is May 7th, 2019, 4 days before Cassie's 35th birthday. She's a Taurus. Sorry. It's important to me. Marcus called DCF to report Cassie for child abuse. So that was March 8th. A month and some odd change later, he calls for DV. When they're not living together. How convenient. He didn't get his way with the DV injunction. So now he's going to try to go through the kid, through DCF.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Mr. Eve, everybody loves you. They're probably tuning me out now. Boring old Eve. Let's go to Mr. Eve. He's fun. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I can tell you about my day. It was all.
Not airplanes. Not right now. Let me have a drink. Let me get a Jack and Coke ready, please. All right. So Sailor was 9 months old at the time. So this report was later submitted as evidence in their final trial to show Marcus his false allegations against Cassie. All right. Some of his allegations are the mother has a medical marijuana card. Who doesn't in California and Florida? It's a medical marijuana card. And the mother also drinks excessively. He claimed that Sailor had a significant bruise on her forehead and did not believe Cassie when she said Sailor got the bruise while crawling. Because it seems very unbelievable that a child gets a bruise while crawling. It says eye roll, and I literally eye rolled. I did. In DCF reports, the narrative portion is simply what is being alleged. His DCF call comes from a very opportune time as he then files for full custody of Sailor on May 24th. What a tool. That is insane. So what is that? 17 days after that DCF call on the child. He's like, full custody. Because he's thinking the courts are on my side. Look how smooth I am. Look how good I am. Manipulative and cunning I am. There's no way they wouldn't give me my daughter now. And that's really, honestly, only to hurt her. In my opinion. Narcissists don't give a shit about anybody but themselves. And they'll do anything and everything they can to get power back. Even if they don't want custody. They'll do it anyway.
No, they'll put you through the mud.
They're going to put you through the mud. That's right.
Just to get their way.
Just to get their way.
They don't care about anybody.
They don't. Only 2.5 weeks after that incident, wow. A smear campaign is an often used tactic of abusers right before they file for custody or divorce. They want to set up a history of the other parent's character. Many of these people will research the different methods to hurt the other parent. Lived it. Mr. Eve, I'm pretty sure you did too.
I'm interested in this one. That's
Yeah.
why I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, that's not why I'm here, but that's why I'm actually sitting here right now.
Yeah.
I've been through this.
Same.
I wasn't abused physically.
I would disagree.
Well, once.
But men, they're like, take a hit. You're supposed to. Not all of them, but abuse is abuse, though.
Like no bitch.
So this one is petition for paternity determination and other relief. Guys, it gets just worse and worse. Like my blood boils every single time I see the timeline of this shit. I don't even have words sometimes. So he filed that shared parental responsibility would be detrimental to the minor child in this case. The mother has substance abuse problems and she abuses prescription drugs, illegal drugs, and consumes alcohol to excess daily. Oh. Do you want to hear what I think about Marcus?
Sure.
You got to turn up your phone.
Oh, okay.
I wanted Mr. Eve to hear this. You hear me?
Yeah.
I think Marcus is a mother. He needs to rot in. I think I'm going to start using this more and more. All right, sorry guys. Medicine has not kicked in yet for my ADHD. So the mother has psychological problems that affect her ability to properly care for the minor child. So here's the slander, the devaluation. The mother has made false allegations of domestic violence against the father, and the mother routinely prevents the father from seeing the minor child for no reason. The petition. I'm going to check on chat. Andy, oh, thank you. I have words for him, but I would probably get kicked off of YouTube for life. Sometimes you just gotta let it out, you know? 12 Sip says, I suspect Sailor was in the same car wondering what was wrong with her mommy. Oh, it's just too much. And she's not the only child that's had to experience this. And it's becoming more of an issue every time I see a case. Every month it seems like a mother is missing, specifically in Florida.
You need anything?
Jack Coke?
Seriously?
It's Tuesday. Let's get crunk. Let me look at the details. Petition for paternity. You mother. Beep. Oh, you know what? I forgot I had the beep beep that can do this for me. Remember? That's a lot more annoying, though. So I guess they did a paternity test. He's the pappy, right? Duh. The father respectfully requests that the court render a judgment adjudicating the petitioner as the father. I don't know if he didn't, like, sign the birth certificate. So they served her to do that. Fuck her. So then he pleads with the court to award him sole parental responsibility and time sharing. Further asked the court to create a safety-focused time sharing plan with supervised visits imposed on the mother. All right. He says almost verbatim what he said to DCF weeks prior. Thank you. And that she does, the drugs and the stuff. Oof. They will do that. They will slander you, no matter if it's true or not. Usually it's not true. They will make up anything and everything they can. To the point where they will, let's just say Eve is a narcissist. Mr. Eve is a narcissist. And he's, you.
Huh.
And he wants to destroy me. All he has to do is see that I'm on YouTube Live. And I have a drink up, smiling, and he's frowning with a drink. And he could totally take me to court and say, look, she drinks on live. She's such a horrible human. She does this every night. Well, even if I don't, which I don't. But that's just kind of the things that they do. So you have to literally walk on eggshells when you get involved with these types of people who do shit like this.
Here's my thing. Even if it is true, even if let's just put an example out there. If it's somebody that is not just a raging alcoholic, but, a drug addict or whatever, whose business is that anyways? Is that person's business. And if that's your family, you need to figure out how to get them help.
Good point, Mr. Eve. That's a great point. That's how I know he is not the N word. The NARC word. God dang it. Sorry. That's not what I meant. Lord Jesus. The narc word. Okay. Because he said, if y'all didn't hear it, he should be helping the mother of his child get help in a sense of rehab or whatever. And he's saying, what business is it anyway? Get her some help. That would be better than saying she's a drunk and a slob and a meth head.
Well, no matter what,
I would think it would be better for him to say, look, I really tried to get her into a rehabilitation program. She refused. I tried to go over there and counsel her. I got church involved.
That and the other. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That's a great point. Thank you, Mr. Eve. We need to do like Cher and her husband. Mr. Cher, it's the same kind of thing.
I mean, I'm just...
But that's a good point, y'all.
At a certain point, you have to give up. I get that. But it's your child. You can't give up on your child. Can't do it.
And your child means more than your fifis and your anger and all that stuff, right? There you go.
That's my 2 cents.
So Sailor is 10 months old at this point. Okay? And it's believed, based on the court documents, that at this time there was a Department of Revenue filing asking for child support from Marcus. Hi, Superior. I know we're a hot mess. So that was back child support. This is where the back child support happens. On May 29th, Cassie was served with the court documents. The clock begins to tick once you receive those papers. You have 20 days to respond, normally in the state of Florida, on a paternity or divorce petition, which is his paternity. Standard procedure for these cases allow a 45-day period in which mandatory disclosures, financial documents to be produced. Due to the belief that Marcus had a pending case with the Department of Revenue for child support in Florida, I believe was on a mission to get Cassie's financial information quickly. So this is another tactic to get information, and lawyers know this. This is why lawyers are the biggest, in my opinion, narcissists of them all, because they have to think like one at least to get a one-up on the other client, right? So a notice of production of documents, which is basically what do you make, what do you have in assets, how much do you make a week, month, or whatever, what can you sell, readily availably sell, and how much are you basically worth? Yeah, Mr. Eve is a keeper. Yeah, so this is to Cassie. You were notified that after 15 days from the date of service of this notice, the undersigned will apply to the clerk of this court, blah, blah, blah. So let's see what she has to get. This is important because I want women to know this is what kind of the shit that you might have to go through, and I'm really sorry. Any and all employment records, including but not limited to job position, pay, salary and wages, pay stubs, and they could ask for 2 years worth. I mean, they could go back, I think, to 2 years, depending on the state that you're in. All documentation pertaining to any and all retirement plans. So any little dime you make or dime you're saving, you got to provide it to the court. Yeah.
May I ask something?
Sure.
Is this the husband or whatever, the father is suing the mother?
Not suing. This is a custody battle.
Whatever. You get what I'm saying. Is filing against the mother. So
She
the
has,
mother's having to do all this bullshit.
yeah, she did one thing, guys. She did one thing so far. And Marcus has done, what is it, 4 now? 4 motions with his lawyer?
Okay.
All she did was there was a domestic violence dispute conjunction that she filed with her lawyer saying that he stay the fuck away. While she was trying to deal with this custody, issue, the baby was an infant, would never have remembered anything about daddy not being around at the time.
Right. Okay.
She was doing the right thing.
I guess I missed at the beginning because I came in about 5 minutes.
And I want to let you know that they were only together a few months when she got pregnant, so they didn't know each other.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those situations.
Whoopsies.
And when she was, having the
got
baby,
married-
hold on. When she was having the baby, she realized, oh shit! Like as soon as she had him, and she was pregnant, he was just the narc that he really was. Sorry, guys.
I'm tracking. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Mr. Eve.
I
Just
missed a
kidding.
few minutes, okay?
I know. So now she's having to give all of this information to the courts within a certain amount of time. Says we can see very quickly that these are not the filings of a desperate father trying to get his child safely out of harm, of a mother who has psychological problems that properly care for the minor child on a daily basis. These immediate filings can be seen as a race to avoid paying child support because every time you file that motion or conjunction, it prolongs that decision. However, child support is retroactive. So whenever you stop paying, baby, you got to pay from that day that you stopped. And I think sometimes they pack on fees Some states
They
do.
can. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye, Brooke. Thank you. Okay. And I know I'm really dragging this on, but it is what it is. So on June 18th, 2019, Cassie retained an attorney and they filed a counter petition. Cassie, Carli, by and through the undersigned counsel, files this answer to petition for the paternity determination and other relief filed. So she did all that stuff, admitted and denied all of the questions that were in the other petition. The minor child subject to this action. There's the child. Oh, it's always so hard to read these damn things. Yeah. Let me just read what it says here. It asserts that Marcus is the father. This piece is important. Many attorneys might ask you if you are completely sure that the other party is the father. If there is any doubt in the court's mind, it can prolong a case and be cause for DNA tests. So another thing you have to do. There is a burden of proof to overcome that is very much on the father to do so. The fact that Cassie openly admits to Marcus being the father and the rest of her mild counter petition goes to the fact that Cassie wanted peace. Her counter petition is a far cry from his aggressive petition, not citing his previous abuse. You may ask, why would you not disclose abuse during a custody battle? Many attorneys refuse to disclose abuse in their filings during a custody case because it makes the case much more difficult to litigate. Okay, so here's the problem that I have. Why are we not holding the courts and lawyers' representation accountable that they have to bring up each and every time that there is a domestic violence order or whatever, if they got arrested or they were charged? That should be like, because that means that you have to do a motion to prove that. There's another motion and a conjunction. It prolongs that custody. Why are we not having a law that says you must provide every criminal, I don't care if it wasn't domestic violence, every single criminal offense that you have, it's on there. And you have to explain to the courts why you are not a hindrance to your child's well-being because of them. You have to own up to your shit. What's wrong with that? I'm talking about everything. Any criminal offense you've been charged with. Suzanne says, it's okay for them to try to make you look bad in other ways, financial or whatever, but we can't say anything, right? And then you know what the lawyer's going to say? We did not have enough time to review this information about the alleged criminal history and records. And if I were a judge, not all judges say this, but if I were a judge, I would be like, you don't know your client? You don't know who you're representing? That's concerning. Are you sure you want to? And then I would look at the defendant or whoever it was and say, do you have faith in your representation? You have the ability to change it. Hold these lawyers accountable, judges. The courts need to do better about that. Because they're the ones representing these women. But I know it's just the way of it. The slimier the better, right? These lawyers get. So let's see what else happened. I'm going to kind of skip the nitty gritty unless it's important. I do want to say this. The culture of victim blaming in our society reverberates through the court system. Preach. Preach. It is so true. So true. Many parents who do disclose substantiated abuse of their own party are told that if it didn't happen to the child, it does not matter. And I know that's true. I do know that's true, especially in these southern states, guys, especially in the South. Because, I don't care what judges want to say that they're fair and unbiased and balanced and all that bullshit. You can't be completely. And they admit to that all the time. And in the South, we are raised to not get involved in other people's lives and their children's lives. And we don't tell people how to raise their children. That's just the facts. And so when it becomes the emotional side and the physical violence side, there's a lot of turning the blind eye on abuse and neglect, especially towards women. You're kind of out of luck in these small Texas states and Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida. The southern states. Kentucky, all. So it makes it harder for you. 12 Step says, why didn't Sailor have her own advocate lawyer, I wonder? I mean, that's a good... Well, they did have mediation. They did have a mediator at one point. So that's kind of, I don't know. I guess if there was abuse, DCF would have that advocate. Because that's what they do. DCF can come in and say, we're the child's advocacy. We're speaking on behalf of Sailor and her interests. But that didn't happen because nothing came of that allegation that Marcus put. Suzanne says Louisiana still has parishes. Whew, I know, right? Another day. The petition does state that the parties be awarded shared parental responsibility with the respondent mother having ultimate decision making authority concerning the minor's child's education, healthcare, and extracurricular activities and day-to-day needs. You tell a narcissist that, or someone with personality disorders, that they can't control their daughter, and not only that, the mother gets to do that, you might as well have punched them square in the mouth. Because that control is literally slipping. And he's wasting all of his time and money filing these bullshit ass motions that they're denying. So on June 19th, Cassie's attorney filed for a request for production of documents. Marcus, not to be beat, has his attorney file an amended request for production of documents 2 hours later. Superior dreams. But what the abusers forget in Kentucky is the golden rule. As long as there's no peace officers around when you stand up to your abuser, it didn't happen. Woo, doggy. Guidance, poor thing. She is going through some hell with that. That's not where I would punch him, Shannon. Girl.
What it kind of sounds like is he's trying to make her waste
time, money,
all of her money. Mm-hmm. Because at a certain point, you run out of money and you can't fight it anymore.
Bingo.
And then
Mr. Eve said, it seems like he's just throwing out anything and everything he can because she's going to eventually run out of money. That he's not paying her to take care of his daughter. Mind you. But that gets better. I'll show you in a minute.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So that very day, the truth comes out as Marcus files an objection to a hearing. Okay? Saying that for continuance filed with the state of Florida. Saying on May 24th, the undersigned counsel for Marcus for paternity determination and other relief, meaning the financial relief of child support. Says likewise on June 18th, the mother has filed a counter petition to establish paternity, timeshare, child support, and other related relief. So she was wanting the support that her daughter deserves. And he was like, nope, I'm not playing. Well, I am playing all the games because I just don't like you. And I want to make you suffer. These are the things that these beepers do. All right? It just triggers me. It really does. I'm so mad. And you know I can get a little sassy on here. But I'm going to try to ream it in here. So blah blah, he does that. And it says the remainder of the mother's counter petition is a prayer for relief and does not require an answer. If that ain't the most narkiest fucking question or response, just stop. So it says this is exactly what every motion or filing submitted on behalf of a protected parent is, a prayer for relief. What he is not wrong about is that in the court system it doesn't require an answer. So court cases can go from many months to years and you're just waiting for someone to look at all of the evidence and answer your prayers for relief. The courts, the judge. Pisses me off. Because they're making so much money on middle class to poor single ladies who can't get a damn dime from their deadbeat ass ex just because they don't like them being in a good spot without them. Mr. Eve, I get fighting, but it's not the best interest of the child. I don't care what anyone says. The parents, even the bad ones, need to remember the needs of the child. Screw the bad feelings towards each other. Right. Don't you get tired? Don't you just get tired of fighting? That's because Marcus is not normal. This is not about Sailor at all.
No, it's not.
It's about Marcus.
It's about him, yeah.
So 2 days before the hearing of child support in a separate docket on July 8th, so this is rolling every month they're going to court. Sometimes twice. The father filed his financial affidavit. His mortgage or rent claims to be $250.
What?
Mm-hmm. He pays $257.91 for a phone bill. He pays more in his phone bill than his mortgage that he claims, the rent.
Bullshit.
I know. And then he claims to spend almost $300 on the child's medical dental prescriptions monthly. The child was on Medicaid. What was he paying out of pocket for?
What?
She's on Medicaid at the time. So, sir, what do you mean? He says he has a Chevy Silverado 2500 that he valued at $50,000, a Tailwind trailer that we all have seen valued at $7,000, and that's crap. Liabilities, loans for both truck at $70,000, credit cards at $10,000, and 2 personal loans from these random ass people that he probably made up out of his ass, Eduardo and Dustin. He's the CEO of 3D Visual Solutions, which was never listed on his financial affidavit. According to the Sunbiz report, this company was filed with the state of Florida in March of 2017. So he likes to manipulate, pick and choose what he wants.
How much is that? That's 3,100. $3,100.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to hide $3,100
to probably meet the minimum, Anyway.
So he doesn't have to pay a certain amount of child support. That's
right.
Exactly what he's doing.
He was trying to probably meet this. Yeah, he's shady as hell. This case sounds familiar all too well. Yes. He was saying, I don't give a damn about my daughter yet. I'm feeling that $400 a month fighting since 2008. It's hard to fight in Florida. Yeah, it seems like it. Florida needs to change. Manipulation and false inflation of ego. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Unfortunately, have dated many of these types in my day. All right. July 10th, 2019. Marcus was ordered to pay $843.49 in child support per month, with a retroactive amount of $168.70 per month until the retroactive obligation of $5,500 and some change was met. Ha! This amount came out to $1,000 monthly, basically, a little over $1,000.
He didn't hide his money.
This was a huge loss for Marcus. Oh. You have to take care of your child. Oh, the audacity.
Oopsies.
On July 22nd, 2019. Yes, ma'am, 12-step. You go right ahead. I apologize. I know this is triggering, so you go right ahead. Thank you so much for being here. Cassie submitted all the documents on July 22nd related to Marcus's request for production of her information. So then more than a month later, in September, Cassie's attorney filed a motion to compel on Marcus to request for production. So it was like tit for tat, tit for tat. He was still attempting to hide bank statements and loan documents. So I do know this about filing my the entire divorce decree and motions for my mother. And if you're not producing all of the documents required and needed when they have evidence that you are lying or that you haven't produced everything, you can file for specific production or proof that it does not exist per the receipts that someone has on it. Like, well, I remember when we were married, here's a statement from the loans. Why don't you have that on there? Or that Corvette you have at your mistress's house, what about that? Whatever. You can do that. So they did that. Motion to compel that request for production, that he was hiding that shit. The trial was approximately in 3 weeks. So that was a trial to let a trial jury dictate what's the next steps of this motion. So then on September 20th, a hearing was held on the father's request for temporary relief. And at this hearing, exhibits filed by Marcus' attorney were documents titled Exhibit Composite, Family Law Case History, Photos, a signed order. Exhibits filed by Cassie's attorney were photos, shared parenting plan, addendum to shared parenting, and confidential investigative summary.
What does that mean?
It's kind of giving the comparison of how unprofessional one side was to the other. She's like, here's our shared parenting plan. This is what we can offer.
That's the co-parenting kind of thing? Okay.
And he was like, here's all the shit I have on her. And she's like, here's what I think we should do. So he ended up looking like an ass. The ass that he is.
Surprise,
so let's look
surprise.
at it. I know. So let's look at it. This is Marcus's final administrative support order.
What does that mean? Is that child support?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Paternity has been illegally established by affidavit or voluntary acknowledgement. The child needs support and has the present ability to pay it. So the respondent's actual net monthly income, so it goes down all of the information about his... He had money, y'all. He was fine. He was fine. At one point, he had like $5,000 and was bitching that he had to pay that $843 or whatever. It's like, stop it. So this is just saying, as the agreement stands, he pays child support until she's of age.
Yeah, until she's 18.
Mm-hmm. So, these are just all the nitty-gritty details. So let's look at the photos. Let's see what the photos say. This is his side now. These are the photos he sent to the court about how he is a
better parent.
Him holding the baby when she was born or when she was an infant.
I made a video last night.
That was it. Hold on, Mr. Eve. These are the only two pictures that he submitted to the court about him being a good dad. Like, here's my proof that we're all good. That's it. And they really, truly think, these types of people think that this is going to work.
That looks like a happy family to me. Well, I mean...
Not him. He looks scared as shit.
I was scared. I got a picture that
Thank
looks
you,
the exact
Afro.
damn same with you and me and Casey.
Right. What my
Exact
lawyer
same.
wrote up should have been enough. Nope, they never enforced it. Yeah, that happens, man. Let's look at the family law case history. I bet he just sends everything that has happened in a sense of the courts. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. So typical. Here's all the shit that we've been through, and that should be enough. What a tool. Order for dismissal. So he actually put in the
file?
dismissal of the DV conjunction that she filed. That was his evidence. As if the court doesn't already know that. What a tool. I'm sorry, guidance. All right, so here is pictures of Cassie's, ability to take care of her child. She's got pictures of the bedroom, pictures of the living space, the couch, where she plays in the living room. This is her father's house, I believe. And I hate to put this on there, but I'm sorry. Her living area, the outside area.
Looks like a normal.
Looks like a nice, normal. The food in the fridge. Welch's, that's smart. He sent 2 photos of holding the baby as an infant. What kind of jackal is this, dude? Like I
said, I got the same damn picture with you, me, and you.
The
and little one.
audacity.
I
The audacity. It pisses me straight the hell off, y'all.
I have more pictures of me and Casey than I do of you, me, and Casey.
I know.
Or you and the little one.
Yeah. Well, you're not on trial. You're not in a.
But
we're not.
you get what I'm saying, like.
Yeah. So then, here is the shared parenting plan.
Bothers me. I want to read this.
It's just a parenting plan. I'm just kind of going through it. That she proposed.
Okay. And then addendum means it's changed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like an addition.
Yeah.
So surprise, surprise, the first piece of evidence Marcus counsel submitted was the court documents that already was established and that they already have, idiot. So that, and I shouldn't say that, I'm sorry, but he is. So, yeah, it's just going on and on about how stupid he is. One of the things we see in this case is Marcus submitting documents to the court that incriminate him. A signed order is the dismissal of an injunction Cassie had in 2018. This was used to attack Cassie and claim she made false allegations against him about the DV.
Yeah, okay. Using mental illness.
Using mental illness as an excuse as to why a victim is alleged abuse. And that that happens all the time.
Using mental illness as a reason for him to beat on her or whatever he did.
No, to say the false allegations. Like, she's mentally ill and that's why she's saying these things about me, because she's not right. Which, there is a small percentage that might be the case in some instances, but in my opinion, not all. Not most.
Mm-hmm.
Gaslighting is a prominent in many coercive abusive relationships. So these are some of the things, ladies, if you're watching, and men, that will go down in a narcissistic abusive relationship, no matter if you're with them or not. Once you get out of that normalcy realm of playing possum and just kind of letting things happen and letting them have control and do what they do, once you get that power for a second, they will come all out. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do what you need to do for yourself. You just need the support. You need to find all the support that you can, get a good attorney that cares about women's rights and knows about the custody battles, who can see things from a mile away, who has dealt with these narcissists, right? And also let people fight for you and be there for you. And above all else, do not placate and go back to a situation because it gets too hard. Don't go back. If you're already out, do not go back because it's going to be 10 times harder for you to start this process all over again because they are going to try to financially keep you down and tied to them. And then, of course, mentally, physically, and all that stuff, psychologically. Do not do it. Do what you have to do to protect your babies and yourself. So this is just, obviously you can see that this is going on and on about who's the best and who's the worst. Cassie's just saying, here's the reality of it. Here's my living space for my daughter. This isn't about Marcus. He just needs to do what he's supposed to do and uphold his part. So, there was an addendum asked for Marcus's time sharing to commence upon the father to have adequate housing and living conditions for Sailor. It was never adopted by the court. It was also asked that their exchange be at that Walmart in Destin that y'all all heard about, right? You all heard about the switch up in going from Walmart in Destin to, unfortunately, Navarre at Juana's Pagodas. However, that Walmart in Destin thing wasn't adopted at the time, but then later it was, to say that's where y'all are meeting. And in my suggestion, if any time that changes where your partner wants to meet up somewhere else, especially if it's to cater you out of nowhere when they've shit on you this entire time, don't do it. And if you're going to do it, you bring 2 people with you. Period. Do not go by yourself. Do not. Oh, Sandy, no problem. Hey, Gemini. Do not do it. Make sure that you follow the law to a T. But also, if you do deviate, have somebody to witness everything. And I would even say record it. Have somebody record it just in case. Yeah, well, I'm saying, Afro, like if there's any change out of the norm and you don't feel comfortable, but you think that if you don't comply, you're going to get in trouble, or he's going to do something to harm himself, whoever, if you feel like you have to go meet him at a certain place elsewhere, bring people with you.
Yeah.
Period. Bring them with you, family members, people that can help you and protect you. If you do go alone, have protection on your side. Always. Always record, always. That's one of the biggest things, is always keep your freaking text messages, your phone calls, your records. I remember seeing this woman have like a stack this big of divorce, all of the divorce shit. But everything he did from the moment she filed or whatever, it was this big, and I think she started a new one. It was insane. Because of the shit that the ex put her through. So parental responsibility and time sharing in Florida are the way to classify custody as a whole. Parental responsibility is the ability for parents to make decisions for the children concerning their schooling, health, large decisions that differ from day to day. Time sharing is the amount of time each parent gets with the child. So this is talking about that shared parenting order.
Oh, they're going for 50-50.
And that is, Florida is a 50-50 state, no questions
50.
asked.
So 50-50 means he doesn't have to pay child support.
Depends. It depends.
It means that
who's the main. There's always a main parent.
It means that here in Texas.
Yeah, Texas is a different freaking breed. And it's very sexist here, in my opinion. But it's just kind of explaining what this is about. What is interesting about his parenting plan proposal is that it vastly deviated from his original filings of time sharing. His campaign to get full custody, which is what that was, seemed to be over now. With the win of the court adopting his parenting plan, that's when things went silent. And I think that was Cassie's way of going, fine, Jesus, I'm broke for one. Let's just give him what he wants, even though I might not like it. Let's just make him feel like he's got a leg up. And guess what, guys? Silence. Silence. I think Cassie was smart. It kept her alive. And it kept her daughter at least in a comfortable position. Until. There's always an until with these types. Okay? On January 7th, his attorney withdrew from the case. So did her attorney in, I think, July. That was because nobody needed to do anything. Everything was fine. So then a year goes by. That was August the 25th that the order was granted for the attorneys to withdraw and be done on that docket. Then in July of 2021, the court files a notice of lack of prosecution motion to dismiss and notice of hearing. Upon not having any activity in the docket or movement from either party in more than 10 months, the court enters to close that pending case. So anything that was open on that docket was squashed. Like failure to appear, nobody's doing anything. I guess they were just on a good term with the child. And they were probably tired of paying attorneys thousands and thousands of dollars to just fight each other.
A month.
A month.
Thousands of dollars a month.
Yeah. Every time you file a motion, $500. And they do it digitally now, so it's like click, Yeah. During the year and a half, Marcus was just being a good guy, doing the right thing. Are you kidding? Haha, no. He was terrorizing Cassie. See? I was wrong. He was terrorizing her. Some of his threatening messages are going to be cited below. Trigger warning: if you cannot handle or want to see any of these triggering messages, please come back or watch later and skip it. I'll put some time cards in the video. These come from the docket later on the case, where he himself attaches them to pleadings. This is where the timeline becomes a little disorganized, like his mind. You don't say. So starting October 25th, 2019, there was a discussion at the time where Cassie attempts to make arrangements with him to switch weekends. And he was not having it. He was like, no. I'm not taking any time to exchange for anything. If you can't handle her, Sailor, you make it clear that the reason why you want me to take care of her is because you can't. Or, you know what I mean. The statement is the statement that can be seen in dozens of other court cases. This abusive parent is not interested in seeing or having their child unless it is on their terms and they are able to gain leverage from it. Narcissism 101. I will only take her if you put it in writing that you can't care for her. Other than that, who cares about Sailor and you? Go kick rocks. That's what he's saying. That is him building a case against her. Be very aware of the words used. Try to not react. It's called stonewalling and gray rocking. You just stop. Okay. Or you don't respond. Blanket statements. I will not talk about this. Please contact my attorney. I will not be meeting with you at the 7-Eleven. As per the court records say, we need to meet at Walmart in Destin. I will meet you there. Just blanket statement, no emotions. How could you say that? I am a wonderful mother, and how dare you tell me not to meet at Walmart? None of that emotional shit. That's going to get you in trouble, and that's going to give them a leg up. Straight and to the point, because these people do not care. And it's hard to fathom that when you care a lot. Marcus sends a message to Cassie through Talking Parents, which is an app, stating, "Do you get off on pissing me off? How many times am I going to tell you? How many times I'm going to tell you to leave me alone and stop the harassment?" This was about making arrangements around a sister's birthday party, or excuse me, what are those things called when you're pregnant?
Baby shower.
Baby shower. She was trying to get to a baby shower, and he just wasn't having it. He was just throwing shade and not letting her have any say in anything. And she was so sweet about it. This is what kills me, guys. She was so sweet about it. Here, let's just read this real quick, and I have to wrap up, and we can finish on another time. So, this was on October 25th. "Listen, I don't have time to keep going back and forth on this. Enough with what my attorney said. It doesn't matter what he said. I can take her next week." And she is Miss Nagalot under his phone. Ooh.
What?
Miss Nagalot is her name. Nag-a-lot is her name under the...
Jesus.
Give me a room. Give me that investigative room with him just for a minute. Woo! "Marcus, I have offered you so many extra days in exchange for this next weekend, and I'm trying so hard to work together and co-parent Sailor. At this point, excuse me, I'm not going to give you any more extra time since you clearly do not care and do not want to work together with me. Since you just replies that you could take the time off if she was sick, I will be making sure I change our agreement that when she is sick, you are required to take off work equal to me." So they were having an argument about time. So they're going back and forth, and it's really not important about the specific details. But he's saying, "Where I work is my problem. Don't worry about, how I take care of her." Because she's asking, "Well, look, you work out of town. Who's going to be watching Sailor? I need to know." And she has a right to know. Just like he has a right to know anything and everything about the daycare that she attends when she's working. But he doesn't. He thinks that he doesn't have to privy that information to her. And she's just saying things like, "I don't understand why we can't work together. We didn't exchange. I'm not going to have this argument. You made up your mind. I have no saying on the subject." So devaluation, making her feel bad, manipulation. So she's explaining about the attorneys, and she said, "I'm not trying to go against you. I'm begging you. We have to be a team. What do you want from me?" And he goes, "To quit arguing, to comply, to shut up and take it and do as I say." That's what he means. And she's saying, "Can we please, please, please work together? I will give you the following weekend too. This just means so much to me," about the sister's baby shower that's out of town. She says, "I hope you will find it in your heart to know how much this means to me. Let me know if you would like to see Sailor this weekend." He says, "This weekend is not my weekend. Next weekend is my weekend." Oh, now he wants to follow the rules when he just said earlier. Forget what the attorney said. It doesn't matter what he says, but now he wants to play suit. So he's a little...
He had a date.
He might have had a date. Probably. Who cares?
That's...
I highly doubt Miss Beautiful Cassie Carli, not Miss Nagalot, agrees. So she's explaining here, "Sailor, my father, and I are going to North Carolina for my nephew's baby shower." Sorry, let me go up. I don't know how this gets off. I don't know how to...
That's fine.
Anyway. "I have told you this for weeks. Begged and pleaded for you to work with me. I'm extending you the offer to see her this weekend and next weekend. I've shared with you the dates. It just won't work with her. I also offered you to join if you're concerned about her safety. Come with us." He is a piece of
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
doo-doo-doo-doo. This is the kind of shit you're going to see if you unfortunately met and have to co-parent with a narcissist. Depends if they are allowed to cook parent through the protective order only on the parents' apps. Yeah. Using his kid, I have zero tolerance for people that use their kids as leverage. Amen, sister. She's offering to take his narcissistic ass with them. She probably is like, please don't say yes. Listen, I'm getting tired of telling you that I don't want to argue about it. There is a judicial order in place that tells us what to do. He likes a flip-flop to suit his own needs, doesn't he? I'm following the order. She says there's nothing wrong with me offering more time and willing to work with each other. I'm done talking about this. You've made your point and I've made mine, and we are not in agreement. If you text me about this again, I will ignore. This is called stonewalling. This is where he goes silent and says, kick rocks. I didn't get my way. Don't care about you. She says on another note, if you were in town, would you like to have a night or time with Sailor this weekend? Wasn't planning on being in town since it's not my weekend, so I won't be in town. Petty ass. He's just not responding. So she's sending him pictures of her happy and playing with her dog.
Having fun.
Having fun. Have you given her calamari? She likes it. She's trying to play nice. Pictures of them too. Here's a few photos of us. We went to the aquarium today. She's being the parent she's supposed to be and ignoring the drama. You know what he says? After all these cute little pictures and all that stuff. It was supposed to be my weekend, not really in the mood to chit-chat. Who wants to burn the entire prison that he is staying in right now? I do. I won't. Of course I won't. Never will. But, you know, I'm just so angry at this piece of shit. I'm so angry because this is every day I hear shit about this on Facebook groups, and they're narcissists. Certified narcissists. People that have been diagnosed. What? I didn't say anything, Heather. I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
What? And then she's sweet and says, I'm sorry to bother you. I was just letting you know she was safe and happy. If you want to see her Sunday, please let me know. And then she goes, hi, Marcus. I just wanted to ask again if you would like to see Sailor. We will be back around 9. You can have her and take her to daycare Monday if you'd like. Just let me know. She was really just trying to be. She wasn't trying. She was being a good, decent human being. And apparently he doesn't like that. So he's just ignoring her, basically, saying this weekend is your weekend. I don't want, not even saying, hey, how was Sailor? Did she have a good time? Let me know what I can do to see her. Nothing. And they just start fighting again. He's not interested. And they're fighting about taking care of, during COVID, taking care of Sailor while she works and he works, and they're fighting about it. He's just an asshole. It gets worse. It gets worse. So when she did the emergency pickup order on July 13th, because when he finally got her after that whole mess in November, in July, he just took off with her for 2 weeks and did not return her.
What?
And so Cassie called everybody. This is July 13th, 2021. Called everybody. Where is my daughter? Do you know where Sailor and Marcus is? Nobody had an idea. So for 2 weeks, he fled with her. No contact with her. She was probably distraught, upset, just like I would be. Gemini. Hi. Yeah. Florida's messed up. So after that happened... Oh, by the way, before that, I forgot to mention that Marcus filed to contest the action of his license being suspended for non-payment of child support on June 25th. So that triggered that reactive abuse, where he takes Sailor out and says, I'm going to make you pay for making me pay. That's what happened. And then that's when she did the emergency pickup order. Then
On the 12th.
he filed 6 motions the day before that emergency pickup order. Motion to dismiss the hearing, Because he wasn't given enough notice about one of the motions. Motion for psychological evaluation. He asked the court for a psych eval on Cassie. Baby, you needed one. I wish she would have. With no evidence, by the way, of any allegations as to why she needs a psych eval. Then he did a motion for temporary custody. Asked for full custody. With nothing claiming why. Then he makes allegations that DCF picked up Sailor from Cassie and gave her to him. And I don't think that's true. I don't think there was any evidence. Motion for cease and desist, that Cassie never say his name ever again. Narc. Like narc level. Like there's a range, and baby, he is right up there. Motion for case transfer to be moved to Santa Rosa, where he was living at the time, I assume. Motion to request daycare attendance. It says respondent intentionally keep minor child from daycare so daycare won't notice and report the bruises on minor child, with no evidence of this. Unreal. I'm telling you, it gets worse right up until the end, dude. And I got 10 minutes because that's the 2-hour mark. Okay. So he's just dishing out motions. He doesn't have any representation at this point, I believe. Let me look at one of the motions. I think he was doing this all by himself, which is very hard to do if you don't know what you're doing. Can't be lazy. Yeah, he doesn't have any counsel. He doesn't have any counsel at all. Says motions like these are the signs of someone becoming unhinged, that their need for power and control is becoming so blatant his mask is completely off. Right? As he filed these subsequent motions. On July 15th, Cassie retains her attorney again. On the 21st, subpoenas for DCF employees went out from Cassie's attorney. July 22nd, Marcus takes Sailor out of Florida to see a therapist to try and find some way to twist her recommendations to use in his filings. He did not let Cassie know he was taking her out of Florida to see a therapist. She has every right to be notified.
Isn't that technically kidnapping?
No.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know, but she had the right to be notified, period. And then on July 29th, Marcus filed 7 motions for civil contempt. At this point, it could be inferred that he was probably feeling high off of this plan he had, which narcs do. They're like, I'm feeling my oats, I'm going to win. No one can beat me. I am me. The inflated ego is real. Like, it really is. They really think there's something. Many abusers state that they want to expose and humiliate the other parent. Obviously. So here are some of the abusive and hostile messages he sent to Cassie. Violating parenting plan. And I'll just go through a few. Okay. I can pick her up at daycare is where it starts. Okay, it's pajama day. She's in pajamas. Can you let me know when you get her? Thanks. Did you pick up Sailor? Yes. I just realized the message I sent earlier never sent, so I'm resending it. Sailor and I are out of town. She will be wherever you are. Wherever you want her by 6 on the 20th. Just wanted to let you know. Sorry the message earlier didn't send. 4 days later. Do you get off by pissing me off? How many times am I going to have to tell you there is a court order in place that tells you where and what time we need to meet? How many times have I got to tell you to leave me alone and stop the harassment? I didn't see any harassment. I didn't hear a damn thing about harassment. I don't need your advice. I don't need your opinion nor your feedback. I mean, narcs do this. They're already having a bad time not controlling everybody else in their lives. And they will go to the first person that gives them an opportunity. And it's usually the most nicest, sweetest person. That was her. Are you delusional? Oh, wait, I forgot. Hold on. I don't need your advice. I don't need your opinion, not your feedback. All you do is lie, and I don't have time to waste with you. This is the baby mama. Marcus, you fucking idiot. Are you delusional or something? Rhetorical. Piece of shit. You clouded with your mother and lie on a sworn affidavit just to keep using drugs and drinking. And on top of that, kept my daughter from me for over a year. So he's building that case again. Narcs are kind of lazy. They tend to go back to what they think they know is going to work. How in the hell would I want to have anything to do with you? The only thing I want with you is to put you in jail for the crimes you've committed. Ironic, isn't it? That is some irony if I've ever heard it. So until then, leave me the bleep alone. And she says, of course, she shouldn't have never responded because this, and that's just my opinion, she should have never responded. Let him be the negative Nancy. The aggressor. She says, I wanted to be respectful and give you more than 30 minutes notice because I know you travel pretty far. I met with my attorney and I'm keeping Sailor quarantined in my house with me because this was COVID times. It is not safe in public. Daycare has been closed. Thankfully, I will be able to be home with her until all of this passes. I will exchange the time I have that is yours to make sure you get your time. This is scary time. Stay safe. Good for her for at least being sweet and a human being. She says it's dangerous for her to come to my house, but not too dangerous for you to go out of town with her. Sure, you don't have the right to do that. I guess I'll be coming to town just to file a motion for civil contempt against you. So these are the things. And it triggers her and she reacts and she's like, damn it. You know, saying our child is most important. The judge will laugh at you. Stop wasting time. But still, you can FaceTime her anytime that you're more than welcome. So she's always going back to Sailor saying, look, this has nothing to do with that. Still be the dad. You still have those rights. Says my attorney has logged all the times you have been contempt and is ready to file whenever I say to. I don't want to fight with you. I just want Sailor safe and healthy. So she's giving him plenty of opportunity to stop being an ass. Says the judge will laugh at whatever I file. Now stop nagging me and leave me alone. I mean, it just keeps getting worse. And she's still being sweet. And she's trying to just do the right thing.
You sent a video?
Yeah. I mean, it's just textbook. So listen, I'm going to go down to, you know, after the false police report, CPS, false everything. You know, this is not... Obviously, we have established he's a shit. So they deny that psychological evaluation based on no substantial evidence. They grant her attorney fees and costs to be paid by Mr. Marcus, and it racks up at a good $6-7 I think. Oh, excuse me, $6,000 within 30 days to pay it. Ha! You know, it feels like a win, but it's not because Cassie's not here, you know. That was on March 18th, 2022, when that order was put on Marcus to pay that almost $6,000. And a week later, she went missing. The most scariest time, and I'm not trying to scare women, I'm trying to empower them and protect them. The scariest time is when you mess with a narc's wallet. And when they're exposed in front of the people that they have manipulated the most and that can get the most out of. When you expose them for that and hit their wallet, something about that combination just really hits home and really hits hard. And that big loss of control is what's scary. Cassie tried really, really hard to give him that leverage and be sweet and kind, considerate. And sometimes it slipped. You're a human being. You're going to slip.
You can only take so much.
You can only take so much. And reactive abuse is a thing, and it's a tactic they use, narcs use. And then that's when they found her on April 3rd, 2022, in a shallow grave in a barn.
That was like 3 days ago.
Yep. So it says here, we owe it to Cassie to come forward and educate the courts on the warning signs on these dangerous people they are. We owe it to her to bring Marcus and the other abusers like him to justice, to hold them accountable the first time. Was Scott Peterson and Chris Watts not enough for the United States to not see that we need reform on during custody battles and protection against the abused? Was Scott Peterson and Chris Watts not enough? There's about 1,000 other cases that I can show you in a 10-year period in Florida alone. In Florida alone, where a family member, a kids, or multiple family members or friends have been hurt because of custody. It's time to change the law. And unfortunately, we have to do it by each state, unless the federal government is to be so kind to make it across the board. So I think that's what we need to push. And at least Florida Protective Parents expose this creep, murderer, alleged murderer, Marcus Spinello. Please, 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 if you would, I'm going to share this link. If you have it in you, if you don't have it to donate, great. That's okay. Please share this within your social media groups so that we can help domestic violence victims.
Just to ask, baby.
Yes.
Just to ask, this isn't going to him at all, right?
No, this is not going to him at all. This is going, let me read it so that everybody knows. Loving you always was the family quote for Cassie and her loved ones. They were extremely close, talking daily and always ending their texts with the love you always slogan. So let me go down and just see where this is going to. Update. Cassie has been found. We are relieved to be able to finally have a little closure. All further donations will be put towards her celebration of life and Sailor's future. Perfect. We are truly humbled by everyone's response. Forever grateful for all your donations. We will not stop fighting for other women out there like Cassie, and her story will never be forgotten. I think that Cassie's daughter Sailor deserves to have a bright future, because it's not going to be ever the same, or the one that she would rather have, which is her mother, no matter what. But the least we can do is at least, donate to her future in a positive way, because she lost two parents, guys. She lost two. So I'm going to put this link in the chat. Please at least share this with anyone and everyone you can on social media so that they can get the donations in there. That would be really great. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you. It is time for me to console Mr. Eve. I think he's just a broken mess. I'm the broken one right now. I'm the broken one right now. But please, yeah, if you can donate, share that. That would be great. Guys, thank you for being here. I know this was hard, but the more you know, the more you grow. And drink your water. Hug yourself really, really tight. Hug your babies. Hug your grandbabies. Hug your fur babies. And I will see you on the next live. And we've got work to do. Bye, guys.